Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here in Atlanta Motor Speedway for the second race of the 5150 Cup Series season. We're sitting here in practice. We got about 6 minutes left. We're hanging out, looking at the top of the board right now, that bad, fast 26 Hutchinson Motorsports machine, top of the board with a 29.96. It is looking bad fast. But, folks, we got a treat for you here tonight. We got a little co-host up here today. Bump and run, Jesse Becker here. Jesse, you got me?
I got you loud and clear, man. Excited to watch some fun racing here at Atlanta. It's going to be quite interesting to watch these guys tackle this track tonight.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. You know, after last week's opener at Daytona, I believe Brian Samara came away with the win, if I'm not mistaken. What are you expecting here tonight?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest storyline going in is Mr. Bryce Barfield, driver of the number 8 car here tonight. He won both Atlanta races last year in the 2024 season, so he's looking to go for the three-peat here tonight, and it'll be interesting to see if he can pull it off, or we're going to have a new winner for the first time in over a year here at Atlanta.
Yeah, well, you know, Bryce has been messaging me all day, basically bragging, acting like it's a guarantee he's going to win it, so I think he's got some bad juju, and he's probably going to get junked tonight is my guess.
Yeah, when you start getting that cocky, a lot of times it can come back to bite you. But, I mean, he's a talented driver, and if there's somebody that can pull off a three-peat, it could be somebody like Bryce out there. He's usually pretty fast.
I'll tell you one to watch is his little brother, Peyton. He has been figuring out these super speedways quite well lately, and I think he's got a shot here tonight.
Yeah, there's several drivers that have a shot tonight. I mean, there's several guys out here in the field tonight that have seen top fives before. Brian Zamora. He got 4th in 2 of the last 5 races, summer 2023, fall 2024. His teammates, JT and Aaron, both with top 5s in previous races. And even you, Blake, in spring 2023, you came home with a 2nd place finish here in these cars.
Boy, I definitely remember that race. That 25 car was hooked up that night. I should have won it.
You were 1 spot away. I mean, pretty close. I got away with a win that same year in the summer of 2023. So, you know, there's some racing experience here at Atlanta up here in the booth. And, you know, as we're getting ready to close out practice here in about 4 minutes, I want to ask you, what is your number one thing about this track that you got to watch out for compared to other places?
Well, you know, a lot of people, they look at this similar to Daytona, Talladega, which is kind of the case. You know, it's a drafting track. But handling is definitely important here. You definitely got to watch your handling, and you don't want to burn up your tires too much. So definitely a different kind of beast than their typical drafting speedway.
Absolutely. And I think my thing to watch, and another fun fact, the last time that 5150 was here in the fall race in 2024, there was not a single caution other than the stage break. So if we have something similar tonight, if it's a clean race all the way through, it'll be really interesting to see how the green flag pit stops go, you know, with iRacing adding the new pit entrance line all the way back here on the back stretch. It'll be interesting to see if drivers can safely get down to speed to stay below that white line on the apron and not end up getting an unsafe entrance penalty.
Yeah, that's something I always forget about here. You know, a lot of guys, they just want to dip in after the corner here, but you got to enter on the backstretch or you're going to be getting that penalty.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting to see. It'll be pretty easy to do during the, if there's a yellow flag during the yellow flag pit stops, it'll be pretty easy to manage, but green flag pit stops, you got to be going from about 180, 185, maybe in the draft. Get down enough speed that you can make it through the corner, and then you got to slow all the way down to 45 miles an hour on the pit lane. It's definitely going to be a tough transition if we stay green.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I'm sure these guys are probably hoping for a yellow, but you never know, because like you said last year, we were able to stay green the entire time. But hey, Jesse, how many laps do you think these guys can make it on fuel?
To be honest, I have no clue whatsoever, so I can't give you too much information there. I'll try to reach out to some sources and see if I can get a number for you. If I had to guess, it'd probably be somewhere around 40 laps or so would be an educated guess.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. But you know what? We got a little bit of time. I'm not sure if he'll even know. He's not on track right now, but I'm going to go ahead and pull up a driver here. We're going to ask him. Christian, Blake, and Jesse up in the booth. You got us.
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
Hey, we were just trying to find out about how many laps do you think you guys can make it out there on fuel here tonight?
Well, let's take a look. Right now, I mean, I haven't ran too many consistent averages. You're looking at 0.31 gallons per lap. So right now, my average. Let me check the iRacing average here, not the race laps.
Meanwhile, we are on board with you right now, so the fans are seeing what you're seeing.
Okay, yes. So welcome aboard, of course. I'm showing an estimated 46.5 laps on a tank. So we're gonna see how that goes. Draft is going to change that. Like I said, I've been drafting a little bit, but my averages may be off a little.
Yeah,
it's going to be a fun night. This car is very loose in the draft, especially when you're right behind somebody. The second car is going to have to hold on.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Christian, we're going to stay on board with you here, and how about you walk the fans through what you're thinking as you're going around this track?
So as I'm alone right now, and of course this is all different in the draft, you just want to be consistent, smooth with the wheel. You know, of course, during the race, you cannot go below that red line right there. Staying smooth, staying down. Of course, that's going to be your quickest lap around the track if you stay down, of course.
Yep. Now,
making sure not to jerk the wheel. What's that?
Is the plan? Are you looking to stay up front all race long? Or are you going to try to hang out in the back a little bit? What's the ideal plan going in?
Well, I see 15 cars on here right now, so honestly, I'm going to probably try to get up towards the front and try to maintain that, like I say, top 5. If I can't be in a top 5, depending on how everyone's racing, I might try to back down to the end of the pack. But we're just going to see how it goes. I would literally love some stage points tonight, and of course, we all want that win. So we're going to get out there and see what we can do.
Well, hey, Christian, looks like practice has ended. We're going to send you down for qualifying. It's going to be a pole or bust for you tonight, so we're going to send you back. Hopefully, get the pole.
Yep, that's going to be my goal. Just a quick shout out to Bandit Mechanical and 5150 LLC for sponsoring Storm Motorsports.
Jesse, you got anything for Christian before we ship him out of here?
One thing for you, to the people that might not know, you're on a bit of a hot streak. You won Friday in the Xfinity Series. You got yourself locked into the Gears Daytona 250. What's your expectations tonight? You going to get win number 2 for 5150 season?
That's going to be my utmost goal. But a more realistic goal, top 5 finish, top 5 stage. That's going to be just getting points on the board. This is a very long season over here in the 5150 Cup Series. So we're going to try to, like I said last week, you know, we have the 4 stages of the season. I'm going to try to get locked in and see what I can do.
All right, Christian. Well, hey, best of luck, buddy. We're going to send you down for qualifying.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There was Christian Taylor. Right now, we're watching Brian Samara in the 53 machine rip it around the speedway. He's going to be setting the pace here for us. Jesse, what do you think Brian's got up his sleeve?
I don't know. Those BCI guys, Brian, JT, Aaron, they know their way around a quote-unquote super speedway. They're definitely heavy favorites when it comes to these drafting tracks. They don't always show good qualifying speed, and sometimes they like to just ride around in the back and let people wreck, but you know, like I said earlier, last time that 5150 was here, 0 cautions other than the stage break. So they might decide to try to stay up front the entire time and hope we have another clean race like we did last time.
You know, one to watch, Aaron Poppin in that 63, one of the best wheelmen in the business. Might be the best I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely got a fast race car, you know, starting to have questions over the sponsorship. His main sponsor there, Hooters, you know, declaring bankruptcy. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out for the 63 car, if he's going to have to switch it up, if Amtrak's going to take over as the primary, but that orange and black Hooters machine is looking pretty quick tonight.
Yeah, it looked like Aaron Poplin just puts down the 31.27. That's going to move him to 4th place right now. Chad White currently top of the board, 31.24 with a Dr. Pepper 28 machine out of Loudon, Tennessee.
Which Dr. Pepper machine do we have tonight? Is it the regular, the zero sugar, the blackberry? What we got on there? Is that the regular?
I thought it was looking like regular to me. Frank Warner, top of the board, 31.23.
No surprise there, Frank the Tank Warner. I call him Bill Elliott not only because of the number 9, but he always seems to find a way to qualify on the top board when literally all he has to do is hold the pedal down.
Yeah, well, right now we're watching Christian Taylor rip it around his first lap. I was listening to Christian's qualifying strategy. It appears his first lap's going to be a stinker. He's setting it all up for a 1-lap shootout. Last lap's going to be nothing or all or nothing.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure almost every driver in the field, you'll see them cutting that apron there on their second lap. It is allowed in qualifying. Obviously, you don't want to go below that red line. during the race, because if you pass below that red line, you'll have to give the position back. But under qualifying, all is fair game as long as iRacing doesn't decide it's an off track. So you can do whatever you got to do.
We're on the Hutchinson Motorsports flag stand view. Is Christian Taylor coming through the tri-oval, crossing the line? What kind of time does Taylor have? Puts him in third, 31.24. Not a bad run there for the 96.
Absolutely. A little bit of qualifying at Super Speedway's backstory for you here. As I mentioned in Christian's interview, Storm Motorsports had a big night last night trying to qualify our way into the Gears duels at Daytona and then the Daytona 250. You know, I put in 12 different qualifying tests and determined which way would be fastest and still managed to qualify 41st out of 64 cars. So anything can happen. All my work was useless.
Well done, Jesse. That's usually how it is, I notice. I never practice qualifying at super speedways. I feel like it's just kind of hit or miss. You either got it or you don't.
Yeah, and as we know, Frank Warner in that 9 always has it, especially at these super speedways. Frank, Bill Elliott, Warner top of the board. Chad White, though, right behind him, 4/1000ths off in second. And Logan Festchischen in that Mighty Donut Motorsports machine coming away with third, looks like so far.
Well, looks like JT Tinker ripping it around the speedway right now. He's going to put down a lap time for us as he crosses the line.
Yeah, the final BCI car we get to watch, he's got a wild-looking paint scheme on that machine tonight. It looks pretty cool, to be completely honest with you. We'll see what kind of speed he's got.
You know, JT is known for his lack of qualifying skills, and I can see why watching him. He came out way too wide there going into turn 1, it looked like. Now he's ripping the top for a second lap. JT's going to be starting in the back, folks. This is terrible.
Yeah, starting in the very back, it looks like, here in qualifying. That lap there could have just been practice.
Yep, he's going to stop. So JT Tinker, bottom of the board. Hutchinson Motorsports battle for last. You're going to see the 93 duking it out with the 32 of James Bench for that spot in dead last.
You know, Bryce Barfield, previous 2-time winner, 2 in a row here, qualifying pretty low. He's in 12th right now. That's kind of a surprise for me.
Yeah, you know, Bryce was telling me how great he was at Atlanta. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a pretty slow number 8 machine.
Yeah, maybe he's one of those guys that picks it up during the race, just can't qualify worth a damn. That's, you know, that I can relate to that. You know, my example earlier with the Gears.
But no, yeah, for sure. You know, and no shock here so far tonight. Steady hand Frank Warner seems to always be qualifying up front.
I mean, that is the number one key to super speedway qualifying, is having steady hands. The more you're sawing on that wheel, the slower that lap time is going to be. So he's got it figured out.
Yes, sir, but it looks like 15 cars, all 15 of them have hit the track, so it's official, folks. Quick time, Frank Warner, 31.23. The 9 machine going to be kicking off front row inside here tonight.
Definitely excited to watch Frank lead the field to green. Chad White and the Dr. Pepper machine hold on to that second spot. Logan Festchischen, Peyton Barfield, Christian Taylor rounding out the top 5 there. It's definitely going to be an interesting race. Both the Storm Motorsports machines showing up tonight, getting top 5s. I believe Logan Festchischen has a bit of an alliance with those drivers.
Yeah, you know, and it's great to see Frank back. He had a little bit of a hiatus here from 5150, but it's good to see him back to kick off the year. Had a great run last week, and he's looking to do even better this week.
You know, some people might say that, you know, iRacing's more important than bowling, but Frank loves to bowl. He actually, I believe, recorded his second ever 300 game the other night. So sometimes bowling comes first in Frank Warner's world.
Yeah, you know, Frank is a beast. You know, keep your eyes open here on the PBA Tour. You might be seeing Frank Warner here soon.
Absolutely.
But it looks like we're killing some time. We got about 3 minutes left. Let's kick some Hutchinson Motorsports tunes off here. We'll kick back, relax, grab yourself a drink. We'll be back here shortly for the start of this one.
I think I will do that.
Folks, be sure to click the like button on the video, subscribe to the page, throw a comment in. Who's going to win this thing? Let us know. Hutchinson Motorsports TV will be back here shortly for the start of this one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gridded up, ready to roll. Jesse, are you ready for this?
I was born ready.
I can't wait. Well, we're going to kick it off with tonight's starting lineup on the front row. On the inside, kicking off from the pole, the number 9, Frank Warner. 2 is outside, the 28, Chad White.
Row number 2 is going to have the number 77, Logan Festischen, starting off on the inside, and on his outside in fourth is going to be Peyton Barfield in the 2.
The third row on the inside in the number 96 machine. Keep an eye out for him. Christian Taylor. 2 is outside the 6, Jordan Schur.
Row number 4 is going to have that Hutchinson Motorsports machine, the 26 of Justin Rosema. And to his outside is going to be the Bad Fast 53 there, Brian Zamora.
Row number 5 in the number 63 machine. Aaron Poplin to the outside, the 14, Bryce Todrick.
Toby Bird going to be the inside here on row number 6. To his outside is going to be Bryce Barfield in the 8, the 2-time Atlanta defending winner.
And in the 7th row on the inside in the 04, Ron Mertens to his outside, the 32, James Bench.
And then you've got the Bad Fast Gorilla number 93, JT Tinker, holding down the final row.
JT having a kickoff from dead last. You think he's got it in him here, Jesse, to make the move all the way to the front?
If I know anyone out there that is not afraid to make a big, meaty move to get his way to the front, it's that 93 car. As he says, he likes to drive fast, eat ass, and have a blast. So if he does that tonight, he's going to find his way to the front.
Well, I updated the paint for him, and it looks like the right paint's showing. You got the Gorilla paint scheme ready to roll, but hey, I think we're kicking off and going green here this time around, aren't we, Jesse?
Looks like it. Pace car got the lights off. He's going to be dipping down, and he's going to get
sir.
led to the restart zone.
Pace car is in. Field entering the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air. Frank Warner off to a good start. Trying to hold off the 28 there. Chad White to the outside.
Definitely looks like a good launch for the Chad White on the outside. He timed that green flag pretty well, and they're still side by side going through 1 and 2 here.
Yeah, it looks like the 9 of Warner getting a better push there from the 77 of Festischen here. The inside line looks to be hooked up.
Looks like we got one car farthest back. That's the 32 there, James Benj. He's staying back, waiting for the carnage. We'll see if it happens. He's going to probably lose the draft here already.
Now, Jesse, in your experience here in Atlanta, do you prefer the top lane or the bottom lane here?
I always prefer the top lane just because, you know, I've got the wall there to my outside. I can see how close I am to the wall. It's a lot easier to see how close I am to the wall than it is sometimes to see how close you are to the apron. So I just prefer the safety of the top line. You know, it can come back to bite you being up there if the bottom lane has a problem. They're going to shoot right up into you, but that's the risk that I like to take most of the time.
And I definitely agree. Top lane I prefer here big time. It also seems to help with handling.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, you see it translate into real life. Even the Cup drivers prefer to run the high line. The low line, you know, it's the quickest way around. And, you know, tires could come into play. You might save better tires on the bottom lane, but, you know, it's easier for me to control on the top lane personally.
Well, I tell you what, James Benj, he might have hung back here to put down a quick time. He's got the fastest lap of the session, 30.04. James Benj back at 14th.
Yeah, he's staying right on that bubble of almost, just about to lose the draft if he's not careful. If he's able to hold on to it, it'll be good for him because, we're still too wide here throughout the whole field. The same two drivers holding it down, Frank Warner, Chad White. But nothing crazy seems to be happening. Everybody seems to be patient here through the first stage.
Yeah, definitely a long way to go. In case you don't know, stage break going to be at the end of lap 30 here, so we got a little bit to go before the stage break.
Yeah, things I'm looking for is to see who's going to be the first person to try to make a 3-wide move. If somebody's going to try to change lanes, not be clear, when can I have that happen? And as we see the 9 and the 77, Frank Warner, Logan Pastuchin, they got a pretty good gap now to that outside lane. Maybe they move up if they can get Christian Taylor with them.
Yes, sir. And I tell you what, James Benge might be in the back, but he is putting down some heaters. Just logged a 29.77 fastest lap of the session.
Yeah, if the 5150 Cup Series had an Xfinity Fastest Lap Award, he'd be definitely gunning for it. Sitting in the back there, just, as you said, scooping up those quick times.
He's looking good right now. Dead last is Justin Rosema, as he appears to have lost the draft. That 26 is looking like junk.
Yeah, it looked to me like a couple laps ago he cut down to the apron and went to the back. I guess he just wanted to stay out of the craziness, but he went too far as we got 3-wide action going on.
Yes, sir. Looking. Oh, they're doing each other.
They're junking it
in the wall. Oh, 2 of them collected there. Looks like Sure and the 14 of Todriff also. Caution is out. Let's see the replay here. We caught it at the tail end, but let's get a better view here.
Absolutely. It looked to me at the first part there, it looked like Bryce Barfield, the defending double race winner, finally got tired of sitting in the back and made that 3-wide move and almost instantly came back to bite some other drivers.
Oh, yeah. It appears the 8 got into the 6 there of Sure. And then it shoves him down into the 39 and then back up into the track and junks the 14. So really, just a bad racing deal there. They were going through the tri-oval 3-wide and that's almost 4-wide essentially. Let's get another view here. Definitely looks like the 8 was part of the reason of that happening, but let's see here. Yeah, just nowhere to go. They got 4-wide there coming out of the tri-oval. Had no chance.
Yeah, it looked to me like the 6 Assure didn't really expect anyone to be right there in the middle. And, might not have got the call from his spotter in time, but he just came down a little bit and the 8 was there, and that was about all it wrote.
Yeah, it looks like the 14 of Bryce Todriff, he just went down pit lane. He's getting 4 fresh tires and using that fast repair to fix that junk number 14 machine.
Check out the 6 of Jordan Sure limping to pit lane here. That thing is crab walking, buddy. That thing is sideways.
Yeah,
it's looking like Ty Gibbs.
We're using at least 2 fast repairs here. Maybe it'd be 3. I don't know how much damage 8 has.
Yeah, man, I don't know how much speed the 6 car would have if he stayed out there without using one. I'm telling you. You remember if you saw Ty Gibbs on Sunday after that car was broke up, that's about what the 6 car's doing right now.
You know what we're gonna do, Jesse? Let's pull up the 14 of Bryce Todriff after junking his car. We're gonna get what he thought he saw there. Bryce, Blake up in the booth. You got us.
Yeah, hey Blake.
Hey, I'm up here with Jesse Becker. We saw you just get junked. What happened?
Man, I don't know. I seen the 8 push it 3-wide. I know he wants to win bad, and now we got a black flag because the 6 was so junked, and we got to work our way back from the bottom now.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to navigate carefully because you got 90 laps left to go. No fast repairs.
Yep, that's it's not the position we want to be in, but this old Montucky Mustang is ready to ride, and I think we still have a shot.
Yeah, Jesse, you got anything to add for us?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you mentioned that, how bad Bryce wants to win. He's won the last 2 races here. Did you expect to move that early here in the first stage? Did you think everybody was gonna be kind of chill until like later towards the stage end?
I wasn't expecting it. I'm still new to this league, and I'm new to racing with these guys. But I know my strategy. I want to get down on the bottom and just ride around until it's time to go. And I just couldn't find an opportunity to get down, and found myself at the top 3-wide. And I don't know what the heck happened. I just saw the 6 turning in front of me, and here we are. So I'm hoping I can get down on the bottom and just ride around until 20 to go or so, and then we'll start making a charge to the front.
Yeah, well, hey, hopefully it works out for you. Looks like you're down a lap. You got a ways to go, but I wouldn't worry about it. You got a stage break coming up here in about 20 laps, and we're going to have some yellows. So, hey, best of luck, Bryce. We're going to send you down with your team.
Thanks, guys.
Bryce Todriff in the 14. We heard it from him. He just junked his Ford Mustang, but he's got her fixed up. He is currently a lap down, but going to try to work his way back up to the field.
Yeah, absolutely. It does always suck to burn your fast repair only a tenth of the way through this race. But, you know, at least you have it. There's some races out there that could happen to you and your car be destroyed and your whole night is over. So at least you get a second life here in the 5150 Cup Series as the pace car lights are off and we're getting ready to go back green again.
Yep, and quickly, you know, a lot of series like having no fast repairs, which, I mean, I agree with on intermediate tracks, but situations like that would really suck if you're the 14. Did nothing wrong, and he got junked, so thankfully he's got a second life here. We're going to see if he's got any better luck. But it looks like the pace car is about to head off here. Your front row is going to be the 77 of Fest Chisholm on the inside, the 9 of Warner on the outside. Coming into the restart zone, Frank Warner, your race leader, is going to be the launch car. Green flag in the air here in Atlanta.
He gets a good launch there. Brian Zamora following right behind him, but you see Frank in the 9. He's going to get right back down to the bottom, getting back in front of that 77. On the outside, it's going to be Zamora and then Peyton Barfield there in the 2. Chad White lost a couple spots there before that yellow flag came out, so he's going to try to get his way back up towards the front here.
You know, it was interesting to me that none of our leaders elected to come down pit lane, maybe fill up and try to play the fuel-saving game or something here when the stage comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most of the mentality out there is that, you know, you got enough fuel to make it to the end. As we got 3 wide action here, Brian Samara meeting a sandwich right now.
Samara got ditched by Frank Warner. Said he had Frank Warner. He's usually a nice guy, but he says, you know what, Brian, get the hell out of the way. I'm sending you to the back.
You know, if you need a tutorial on how to lose 9 spots in 2 quarters, just watch what happened to the 53 there. He's still losing spots back there. Still 3 wide with one of his teammates and that 8 of Bryce Barfield, but he's going to fall back in line here.
Yep, stuck in the middle. Chad White, currently your race leader, getting a big push there from the 93 of JT Tinker. Tinker has worked his way up to second already.
And, you know, I don't even have to look at any stats to know JT's the biggest mover. Started dead last, already back into second here. Nothing I'd expect more from the 93 car. He's always aggressive at these super speedways, and it either pays off or comes back to bite him. And we'll see what happens to him here towards the end of this race.
Yeah, so our leaders, are look to be in single file lane there on the bottom. So we're going to see if the top lane can get reformed here and get rolling.
Yeah, we've only got about 3 or 4 cars up there, which, I mean, it can be enough if you've got the right guys, but you can't push here at Atlanta like you can at Daytona or Talladega, you know. You see it in the Cup Series in real life, you know. You can't be right up on somebody through the corners of how loose the cars are, and then it takes pretty much the entire straightaways to get back up to the next guy. But you see Frank Warner thinking about going up top. Whoa, close action there.
Close call.
Oh my God, Aaron Poplin, I think
bailing.
I think he pooped himself. I think he decided he needs to go to the back, check his pants, try again.
Yeah, he's taking it easy here. Wants to save that fast repair in case he needs it later. But hey, a couple laps ago, you know, we just talked with Bryce Todriff after junking his car. He just put down the fastest lap of the session, folks, for a 29.63. Bryce Todriff in the 14 is bad fast.
Absolutely not holding back at all, trying to stay with the pack. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. The top line is starting to reform here. Peyton Barfield can't decide which lane he wants to be at, but you got 5 cars on the bottom lane in this main group, 4 up top if Peyton Barfield stays up there. So I think we're going to get back to some side-by-side racing here.
And one thing to watch that battle for last right now actually is important between Schur and Todriff. They're both 1 lap down. So when this stage caution comes out, only one of them is going to get the lucky dog.
Yeah, and that lucky dog, you never know which way it's going to go. It could be either be super important, you know, we can only see the stage caution the rest of the way, or, you know, we can have a bunch of wrecks and that lucky dog doesn't matter as much. So
yeah, and you never know, so you definitely want to get it when you know it's coming for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be on the bad end of it if you say, you know, oh, there'll be more cautions, I'll let him have it this time. What if there isn't? And then suddenly you're stuck a lap down pretty much the whole race. That or on a bad strategy.
Ron Mertens making a move, the old-timer in the U.S. Army 39 machine. He wants to take over that top spot.
Yeah, he's going to take control of that bottom line with Chad White there behind him, pushing him. We've got pretty even lines here. Christian Taylor in the back, he doesn't know which line he wants to be in either. He's kind of getting shuffled around back here at the tail end of the back.
Yes, sir. And these guys appear to be pushing each other pretty hard already.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to see this much aggressiveness on lap 18. Still 12 laps to go to the end of the first stage here. But, you got to try to get it when you can, especially here at Atlanta. It's not as easy to gain positions as it can be at other tracks.
And here comes Mertens in a rocket ship here with a push from the 28. Ron Mertens back to the race lead.
Yeah, in real life, they had one of the, I believe they either tied or broke the record for the most lead changes. Definitely could see something similar as far as 5150 goes. Definitely a lot more action-packed than it was last time these guys were here.
And, and during pre-race, I don't think we had time to actually lock in our picks, but I would like to lock in my pick to win it. I said something about him earlier, but I think Peyton Barfield's going to get the job done here today in the number 2 machine and win it. What about you, Jesse?
Before the race, I was going to go with the 8 of Bryce Barfield just because, if this was a sports book, he'd definitely have the best odds. He's won the last 2 races here looking to make it a third, but, I'm going to go with the guy with the hot hand right now. He's kind of hanging out in the back right now, but 96 of Christian Taylor, he won at Daytona in the Xfinity Series. He's feeling hot right now. I'll see if he can pull out another win here at Atlanta.
What a homer pick. Jesse Becker picking his teammate to win it and his friend.
Absolutely. No shame, no bias whatsoever there.
I'm sure, but right now out front, that 2 car is hooked up. It is a good-looking car, and it is bad fast. The number 2 Camaro out front.
Yeah, and it's Camaro City out front. You've got Peyton Barfield there, Brian Zamora behind him, I believe. I'm not sure, but I definitely know that's 2 more Camaros there taking up the top 4. Chad White's the first Mustang.
It's definitely a Camaro-heavy field. There are only 4 Fords and 2 Toyotas. Everybody else is in a Chevy.
Yeah, I don't know what all the hype is. I'm a Toyota guy myself, but it seems to be the case anywhere you go. People are going to love the old bow tie, but it's working out good.
Yes, sir, and the 8 is making a big move. Barfield's sick of looking like junk. He wants to lead some laps here. Bryce Barfield trying to head to the front.
Yeah, he's going to give it his best shot to get to the front. He's already shown here early in stage 1. He's not afraid to make a move. He made that 3-wide move that caused that first caution to come out. So he wants to get to the front of this thing. It's just going to be a matter of if he's got the help behind him.
Well, he's running up awful high here, right up against that high lane. But, before the race, I did get a little message from Bryce. He was not happy about us up in the booth, not expecting him to do very well here tonight.
Yeah, I think he can do well. He's just got to stay out of his own head. He can't worry so much about trying to defend the 2 race titles. He's just got to race and be there at the end. That's the number 1 thing.
Yes, sir. And we're on board with the 53 of Brian Samari's a second car in the outside lane, and you just saw Frank Warner blow by him like he was sitting still. Frank Warner back out to the race lead.
Yeah, seeing Frank Warner up front. Definitely a common thing when we come to these drafting tracks. He's usually good at qualifying up front. As you saw, he got the pole. And he's pretty good at staying out front. It's just going to be a matter of if he has the luck on his side, if he can keep that car clean. He can have a fighting chance at the end.
And how about a guy we haven't talked about yet at all? Toby Bird, the 99 Armor All machine. That's a good-looking car. Right now, he's sitting right in the middle of the pack, sitting in 8th.
Yeah, that is a good-looking machine. He's the one earlier I couldn't quite tell who it was, but I knew it was a Camaro. And, definitely strong showing for him. He was up there in about 3rd place earlier. He's definitely dropped back a little bit here.
And it definitely appears to me Todriff and Schur, they elected to drop out of the draft because they just cannot afford to be involved in another wreck.
Yeah, it's probably the safe thing to do with the fast repairs already burned up on those machines. You kind of just want to play it safe. If the junk happens, you want to be able to avoid it. Maybe they'll play a little rock, paper, scissors game to see who's going to get the lucky dog here at the stage, or maybe they just, beat and bang across the line to figure out who gets the lucky dog, but it's definitely the smart play.
Yeah, we'll see here as we just got a few laps left to go. At the end of stage 30, we're going to be throwing the caution for our stage break as they come to the line heading into lap number 28.
Yeah, Peyton Barfield showing good control over this outside line, but I can tell you one thing: the man there in the 53 car, Brian Zamora, he's not going to be able to afraid to make a move to try to get this stage win. So if I'm Peyton,
Oh, look
you got to
out.
decide. Oh, they're
Into
junking
the
it.
wall, they're junk.
Toby Bird hard into the inside wall. Still wrecking Chad White, JT Tinker getting together there. Big junk.
All kinds of junk cars. And good thing those guys dropped back, Todriff and Sure, because they probably would have been involved in that one. Let's see what happened here. Let's find a little better view here, folks. Hang on. Going through my board here. Hang on. It's not giving me... One second.
You're going to want to
here.
find the 93 of
Here we
JT
go.
Tinker.
Yeah, Tinker always involved in these wrecks. Let's see what happened here. Let's get a better view. Let's go to the Hutchinson Motorsports drone cam. One of the best in the business, I might add. But here it is. We're watching the 93 of Tinker. Right in the middle of the corner. Goes up a little high into the wall. Comes way down and just junks the 28. That's 100% on the 93. So the 28 involved, the 9 involved. Who else? I think that's about it. Actually, I think Christian Taylor smoked Chad White there. So Christian Taylor's going to have some damage as well. So a handful of cars involved in that one.
Yeah, I don't know if we have as many junked cars as we did in the first wreck. Everybody coming down pit road this time. I believe that was called the stage.
I definitely assume so. And now it's kind of odd. I'm seeing Jordan Sure come down pit road. He should be a lap down, I assume, here. Todriff staying out. He's probably going to be pitting this time.
Absolutely. It's interesting to see who got the lucky dog there, if there was some contact that kept anyone from getting it. But 2 of Peyton Barfield, he's going to take home that stage 1 win. Brian Zamora in second.
Yep, Peyton. And it looks like Bryce Barfield winning the race off of pit road. How about that? Bryce Barfield in the 8, back out front here.
And his brother, correct, Peyton?
Yes, sir.
Looks like he might have got some sort of speeding penalty or something. He was letting everybody go by him there.
Well, that's one way to choke it here. This is not a track you want to give up the track position. And a big reason of that being, if there's a wreck, you really got nowhere to go here. You're going to be right in the middle of it.
Definitely a narrow track, not a lot of room to avoid some accidents here.
And looking, it appears, I'm trying to see who's going to be getting the wave around. Bryce Todriff back down pit road again. Or no, he's just leaving pit road.
If they would have gotten it, it would have already happened. Looks to me like Todriff is going to be back on the lead lap here.
Yes, sir. It does appear that way. So Jordan Sure is still a lap down. He's going to have to hope for a caution. Now, if you're Jordan Sure, you might be thinking, now you can't cause a wreck because you'll lose the lucky dog. But maybe you can squeeze somebody, make them cause a wreck.
Yeah, you can definitely try to play games, but I mean, the racing we've seen so far, I see no reason why Jordan Sure won't expect another yellow. You know, it's definitely been action-packed. Already 2 wrecks here in 30 laps. I don't think we're going to get anywhere close to the record of 10 that we had summer of 2023, but definitely 2 already definitely beats last time we were here.
You know, I think it just depends, you know, how fast that 93 gets up front, because if he does get up front quick, we're going to see another caution. We're going to see it fast.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster night for JT, you know, starting in the very, very back. Claws his way all the way up to second at one point, then falls back, and all of a sudden he's loose and causing that yellow. But, I mean, we've got lights off on the pace car already, and Bryce Barfield in that 8 car does find himself on the front row with Brian Zamora next to him.
Yeah, going to be interesting. You know, there's only been 2 restarts so far, but both restarts so far, our leader has elected to take that top line.
Yeah, it just, you know, I think, to me, that's the best place to be. You get a little bit more breathing room, and again, you can kind of see where you are compared to the wall versus trying to stay off that apron.
Yes, sir. And as we go to the Hutchinson Motorsports flag stand view, the best flag stand view in the business, our racers entering the restart zone. Green flag in the air here in Atlanta. And a good jump there by the 8 of Barfield. He's out front, but he might be out front too far.
I was going to say, not only a good jump, a massive one. He left the 39 car in the dust. Going to drop. Oh, Brian Zamora leaves him.
Zamora jukes him out. Says, I'm going high, not going low. Takes over the race. Lee Barfield getting shuffled back, and shuffled back quick.
Yeah, he's got absolutely no help. You can see him trying to side draft best he can through these corners to stay up here in a competitive spot. And now Brian Zamora is going to get left. It looks like Justin Rosema making a bid for the lead.
A good move there by Rosema. Had the 77 with him, and then he bailed on him. Rosema tries to cover up on the bottom, and unfortunately unable to do so, but he does lead a lap here.
Yeah, he's going to get some help here from Bryce Barfield in that 8 car. So I think we're going to have some side-by-side racing in the front, though. Brian Zamora going to cover that top lane down the backstretch.
Kind of a dirty block here heading into lap number 34 coming up, but Zamora wants to win this race here on lap number 33.
Yeah, Brian Zamora, the first leader I've seen that it looks like he's going to be trying to control both lanes based on where the run is. You know, it's a good strategy as long as the guy behind you, is afraid of turning you. If he's not afraid of turning you, you can find yourself in the wall pretty quick.
Yeah, but don't count out that 26. That is a Hutchinson Motorsports Ford, and it is bad fast with a big push from the 8. Here comes Rosema in the 26.
Absolutely. 3 wide action in the back between Peyton Barfield, JT Tinker, and I believe the other driver there is James Benji.
Looks like the 2 and the 99 door banging each other down the tri-oval here. The 99 at Bird. Not appreciating
my
the
apologies.
2's driving.
Yeah, that's the 99 of Bird there in the orange car. We got a couple orange cars out there trying to keep track of who is who.
Tinker just doored the 2 here. Tinker is on a roll here tonight trying to jump as many cars as possible.
Absolutely. You know, the 93 car, he only wants to be one place, and that's at the front. So he doesn't care what he's got to do to get there.
Yes, sir. And heading in the tri-oval, new race leader briefly. Logan Festitian takes the lead, but Brian Zamora takes it right back. Zamora to the lead out front on the outside line.
Yeah, and once again, you see the 53 still trying to control both lanes. It looks like the 77's done a good job of getting next to him here.
And looks like the 26 is getting shuffled to the back, stuck in the middle with no help. He's going from the front to the back.
6 Assure got into the wall there a little bit. He's got Toby Bird all over his back door trying to get by him.
You know, if I'm Jordan Sure, there is no reason to even... Oh, no, Jordan Sure... Oh, never mind. He is a lap down, isn't he? Making sure my scoring's a little messed up.
It's showing he's a lap down on my end.
So if you're Jordan Sure, you got no reason to be up there. If I was him, I would be the last car in the draft. 100%, because he is racing for nothing. He needs a caution to come out and can't be involved. Needs that lucky dog.
Yeah, and I mean, it's 2x2 right now the whole way. JT Tinker using the apron.
That is illegal for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly is going on. He's still on the apron.
Almost jumps his teammate. I don't think he advanced any spots there, I guess. Oh, he got him hooked.
Four wide.
Big save briefly and not for long. Throwing the caution here tonight.
39 is involved. 63 is involved.
Boy, that's just a 4 wide move coming off the corner. They didn't stand a chance. Let's see what happened in your Hutchinson Motorsports replay. All right, so here they are, 4 wide. You got the 8 of Bryce Barfield on the outside, the 39 of Mertens, the 53 of Zamora, and the 77 of Festitian. Let's play it from there. Coming off the corner, they just ran out of room. Nobody moved, really, just had no room. Mertens gets turned, smokes the 63. And then I think Jordan Sure actually tapped one of the cars, so I don't think he's going to get the wave around.
Yeah, it looks like he was involved.
Boy, that, and I just said about a lap ago, if you're Jordan Sure, he was the only car a lap down. There was no reason for him to be up there.
Yeah, well, if I can tell you anything, we've still got, 62 laps to go. I think he's going to have another chance or two at a lucky dog the way it's been going, but, I'm wondering what caused all that, because the 93 of JT Tinker finding himself all the way on the apron in the tri-oval, I don't think he would do that intentionally. And it kind of led to chaos all the way through turns 1 and 2. And it probably had something to do with the 4 wide coming onto the backstretch.
I would definitely say so. I think that definitely shuffled some things up. But it looks like coming down pit lane, we got a few cars. We got both Barfields. We got the 14. I believe that's the 9, the 63, and the 32 all down pit lane.
6 Assure is getting the wave around.
Oh, well, that is surprising because he definitely clipped one of the cars. Must have been a manual wave around.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a little bit of damage in the wreck, but not enough to say that he was necessarily a part of that caution. So they probably gave it to him just knowing he's the only car a lap down, and it would have been his. Slight contact doesn't make that much of a big deal, so he's going to be back on the lead lap.
And you know what? While we got some time, let's rewind it here. Let's find when Tinker goes down to the back stretch, or I'm sorry, the apron. All right, here it is. Let's stop it. We'll go to the Hutchinson Motorsports drone cam, best drone cam in the business. Far chase camera. All right, as we play it, coming off the corner. Bumps the, he just went down there himself, and he did gain position. So that's definitely illegal. He passes the 63, comes back up on the track. That's an illegal move there by the 93 of JT Tinker.
Yeah, I think his argument might have been that there was a checkup there, but I don't think it's a solid argument whatsoever.
I don't think so either, but we'll see what happens here after the race is over. But Chad White, currently a race leader, heading in a lap number 41 out of 100. We're almost halfway home.
Yeah, and I don't think 4 wide was necessarily on my bingo card, so for these drivers to pull it off for maybe a half second before chaos ensued, shout out to them. There's not a whole lot of room on this track, but they made it work for a brief moment.
Yeah, especially coming off the corner, you're going to always lose a little bit of room coming off the corner because the guy on the bottom usually comes up a tad and the guy on the top comes down a tad usually.
Yeah, and I believe at this track, the corners are wider than your straightaways are. I don't know the exact dimensions, but it does widen out in the corners and skinny up when you get to the straightaways. So that room may be there through the corner, but it's going to disappear quick.
Hey, that's unfortunate for the 39 of Mertens. Just gets turned there because he ran out of room. And, I think I'm seeing damage on that 14 car. Yeah, his right front looking screwed up, and he's out of fast repairs. So we talked to him earlier, Bryce Totter, if he's in trouble here, that car is junk.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to get that fixed up if he's going to get anywhere. That could be enough aero damage to impact him here for sure.
Now, you better hope for some cautions, but the light is out and the pace car's about to head in. We are going to have Chad White front row inside, Logan Festischen on the outside.
Yeah, Brian Zamora, JT Tinker, the teammates right there on the second row. It's going to be interesting to see if they can make a move here.
Yes, sir, but the pace car is in. They're entering the Geico restart zone, and the green flag is back out here in Atlanta in a big jump there by the Dr. Pepper 28 machine of Chad White.
Yeah, back in the back, the 2-car Peyton Barfield wasting no time trying to get by the 6 of Jordan Shearer. Jumped out of line pretty early there. They're going to be side by side back there, and they're trying to single file out a little bit here in the front.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We saw about half the field pit there and the other half stay out. So we're going to have varying fuel strategies. These guys are all going to definitely have to at least pit one more time.
Yeah, there's going to be at least one more pit stop for every car in the field. So we'll see if it stays green. We might have some green flag pit stops. But the way the racing's been, I don't expect that to be the case, at least not at the moment.
Me neither. Now, Jesse, I wasn't listening when he was up in the booth, but how many laps did Christian Taylor say he could go on fuel?
45 to 46
without the draft
as a solo car. So with the draft, you might be able to get 48, 49, somewhere in that range if you really save.
Yeah, so I mean, it is going to be interesting. Those guys that pit are going to have a shorter pit stop if we get a caution later, so that might help them with some track position.
It could be enough to leapfrog them to the front, but I mean, this is absolute chaos here. We've still got 3 wide action going on here a little bit.
Slicing and dicing through the field. Chad White covering up both lanes.
Your guy there, Bryce Todworth, he just made a hell of a move. He went 3 wide to gain a couple spots. He finds himself back in the outside lane now.
Let's hop on
for somebody without a faster pair, he's getting pretty dangerous.
You already got damage. If I'm Bryce Totter, if I'm just sending that thing, I got nothing to lose. It is go time for the 14 as they're 3 wide coming through the tri-oval. Door banging each other. The 96 and the 2 getting together. 3 wide heading into turn 1.
Absolutely. Aaron Poplin staying on the bottom, just kind of scared for his life right now. The 96 and 2 getting angry at each other over the radio.
Jesse, can you share what was said?
I believe the 96 asked the 2 what he was doing. The 2's response, I believe, was, "We're 3 wide, dumbass." I think that's about all it was.
Hey, that's some Atlanta racing, and it looks like the 96 shoving the 2 through the tri-oval. He is not happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, in my mind, it's way too early to be having the chaos we're having here, but it does make for definitely an entertaining watch.
Oh, hell yeah. If I'm out there, especially if I still got a faster pair, why not? And we got one entering the apron there heading into the turn. It's Jordan Schur off base.
Yeah, it looked to me for a second that he decided
Uh-oh.
to go to pit lane about 2 minutes late there.
Hey, they're getting shuffled up here. They're getting 3 wide. Oh, the 2 door banging the 96 again. Oh, and he's sideways. They jumped each other. Caution is out. Caution is out. Oh,
Peyton
my.
Barfield around the 96 gets away unscathed. I think if there's going to be a fight in the haulers after this, it's going to be between the 96 and the 2.
Boy, I don't know. I feel like they got together a couple times, and I don't know. The 2 just got kind of lost it. I think tempers were heated. The 2 might have overcorrected a little bit because he was mad, and then ends up spinning it. And he looks like he also collects. Oh, that's the 9 of Warner. That's unfortunate for Frank. He was hanging out in the back for the first time of the race, and he gets involved in that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's contact coming into turn 1. 96 is all the way up against, literally hitting the green fence. And, there's a bit of contact. He just unsettled the 2 car all the way through the corner. And he was losing it the whole time going through turn 1. And it finally ended in him spinning.
And it looks like most of the field going to be pitting. Interesting to see Chad White, Logan Festchician stay on. I'm pretty sure they both stayed out last time. Which, you know what? How about we bring up the best pit strategy board in the business, the Hutchinson Motorsports Pit Strategy Board. And yes, it is confirmed. Logan Festchician and Chad White both pit 18 laps ago. So not sure about this strategy of staying out there. I don't think it's the right call.
Well, we got 53 laps to go. We'll probably be going back green with about 50 to go. I'm thinking it's possible that these drivers are expecting a few more yellows, and if that is the case, they might be able to save enough fuel from this point to make it all the way to the end.
I would think so. If you're careful on fuel the rest of this race and you just get 1 or 2 more yellows, I think you're going to be good. And that's another reason I think this is a wrong move for Chad White and Logan Festchician.
Yeah, they're still guaranteed to have to come down again. These other drivers that stayed out, they might be able to save enough. So if it does go green all the way, it could really screw the 28 and 77 here.
Yeah, so we'll see here. But Ron Mertens with a great pit stop up to the 3rd spot. He is the first car that might be good on fuel if he can save enough.
Absolutely. It could be all important here this early on.
And it looks like he's already in save mode, folks. Ron Mertens thinking ahead. He's playing chess on the checkerboard. The 39 running the apron, saving as much fuel as he can.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Let's take a look at this number 96 machine, Christian Taylor. I don't think he needed to use a fast repair there or anything, did he? Should be good to go. Still have one.
Yeah, he still has a little bit of damage that I can see on the passenger side of that car there. It looks like he's going to come back down here one more time, try to get as much of it fixed as he can, trying to save that fast repair for some big junk later.
Yep. And you're going to see a bunch of guys that are coming back down. Even Ron Mertens. Wow, that's kind of surprising. I know these guys are topping off to want to get a little bit more fuel, but Mertens was sitting in the 3rd spot. I'm not sure I'd give up 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, with the racing we've seen so far, I think we're at 4 yellows now, including a wreck right before the stage. It's a thing if you're going to see more cautions, I feel like. I don't think we're going to flip a switch and have clean racing here on out. I mean, these drivers are going for it, and I think we're not done with the yellows here. Lights are off on the pace car, though.
And that's another reason I think these guys are definitely going to be good on fuel. And then it's another reason you want to be out front, not in the back. Because if you're out front, you're going to be missing the wrecks. If you're in the back, you got nowhere to go.
Yeah, and 28 and 77, they're going to be controlling the first couple lines here. And it's going to be, like you said, interesting to see if this thing does manage to stay green. We might only have 2 cars having to make green flag pit stops.
Yeah, which, I mean, I definitely don't see that. But nonetheless, we're
not
going to
a
see
chance,
what happens. But your front row, it's going to be the 77 of Festchician on the inside, the 28 of Chad White on the outside.
Yeah, and take a look right behind him there. You got Peyton Barfield in the 2 car, even after his spin, finding himself next to his brother Bryce there in row 2.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure who all still has their fast repair left, but the guys who are out of fast repairs have to be a little bit worried. But the pace car heading in, getting out of the way. Chad White going to be setting the pace for the field as they enter the Geico restart zone, heading into lap number 51. Green flag in the air back in Atlanta. We are officially halfway done here tonight. Good jump there by the 28 of Chad White.
Yeah, it looked like the 77 of Festchischen had the parking brake on. Whoa, the 39 there.
Ron Mertens.
Kyle Busch restart.
That is illegal as hell, but we're going to see what happens. Ron Mertens made it work.
Yeah, I think that one is a rule in the rule book. He might find himself having to give those spots back up, but I appreciate him trying that move. I haven't seen that in years.
You know, I'm not going to lie, Jesse. If I'm joining a new league, I'm not reading the damn rule book, so Ron Mertens probably didn't know.
Absolutely. Well, an A for effort there, out of nowhere, picking up 6 spots if it holds, which I don't know if it will, but we'll see.
Yeah, you know, it might end up being a after race EOL penalty or something for next week. Who knows how the admins are going to handle it? We'll find out.
Man, I think I've seen so many crazy things tonight. My bingo card's definitely getting full.
Yeah, but out front, Chad White, your race leader, getting a big push. You know, I'll say Festchischen's been out front the whole race, but he's been very patient. He's been doing the pushing. He hasn't really made any moves to take over that race lead too often.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 2022 Logan Festchischen would have killed half the field already, so he's done a great job tonight of just keeping his car clean and trying to stay up near the front, not causing any trouble.
Yeah, last lap around Toby Bird putting up a heater here. 29.55, fastest lap of the session. Toby Bird.
Yeah, that 99 must have put plenty of armor all on the front of that machine because it is slick and it is flying there. Second car on the outside.
We're going to hop on board here as he's pushing the Hutchinson Motorsports number 26 car out front.
These guys are side drafting pretty hard through the corners. It definitely can get a bit sketchy, but you know, that is the best way to try to give that outside lane a fighting chance.
Yeah, as we watch Bryce Totter, if he's got that right front damage. Doing pretty well here in the draft, but I do know if he becomes the lead car ever, he's probably going to be having a parachute.
Yeah, I will say I've been kind of surprised to see that the top lane's definitely been the most preferred line, and it definitely seems to be staying out in the front for most of the time here.
You know, that's what I noticed. You know, it's been a while since I ran this track, but the last time I ran it, I did notice the top lane was the preferred line, and it appears to be the same scenario here.
Yeah, that top lane can get stuff going. They just, got to get enough cars up there. Only 4 of them right now compared to about 7 or 8. Oh, there's trouble.
Oh, the 14's night's done. He just junked it, and Toby Bird, he's junk as well. Let's see what happened. We caught the tail end of it here. Let's go to the Hutchinson Motorsports. Let's go to the chopper cam here, best chopper in the business. As we play it here, Bryce Totter, we know he's involved, so we're going to watch that blue 14 car right there in the middle of the screen. Looks like he comes down. Oh, yeah, he just comes down too far and then comes up and hooks himself off the 04's nose there. So Bryce Totter have kind of just junked himself.
Yeah, if I'm the 04 in this situation, I'm seeing what's happening there and just kind of leaving some room to let the guy come back up. But, at the same time, you got to do what you got to do.
Yep, but hey, it looks like Chad White, he's having to come down pit lane. We know Festchischen's going to need to as well. So everybody's going to come down pit lane, so everybody's definitely going to be good on fuel. So hey, this move actually worked out. So Chad White and Festchischen staying out seems to have worked out for him. If I'm out there in the back, I'll stay out here because I think we're going to get more cautions. I think you're still going to be good on fuel.
It would be a good, position strategy move to stay out because like we've already talked about, if we do get enough yellows, they're going to be good on fuel, and it looks like some BCI guys, the 53 and the 93, might be trying it.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I think that's the right call. If you're in about 10th or back, I think the call there was to stay out because, the chances of us going green the last 40 laps, it's not happening.
I think the chance is about 1%.
Yeah, 1% maybe because, we still got the whole field left. Totter if we'll be done. So we're still going to have 14 cars out there.
Yeah, we might have Todriff out of this race if that car is junked enough, but, I can tell you one thing. Him being out does not eliminate the chaos that has been ensuing here at Atlanta so far.
Definitely not, and Tinker's going to be rolling the apron here, trying to save a little bit of fuel. Not a bad move here, as you're going to be cutting it close.
Yeah, and this is why you want to have yourself, either your keyboard nearby or have yourself an ignition button so you can cut that car off, let it coast. A lot of people don't have that button. It's a really good way to save some fuel. You just push the clutch in, let the car coast, just kick the clutch back out, start it back up, just keep rolling.
Yep, and Tinker continues to do so. Samara not worried about it. He says, hell with it. I either got enough or I don't.
Yeah, but it's a familiar scene for those around 5150 to see this top three right now. Every BCI car up here in the 93, 53, and 63, 1, 2, 3 right now.
Well, I tell you what, I just can't say enough. Aaron Poplin, he's just pure excellence out there. I think he's got this race won.
Yeah, his racing, it's about as good as Hooters' budget line. He's finding himself up there right now. Hopefully, his race doesn't end up bankrupt.
And we're going to see if anybody needs this purse money, it's that 63 team.
Absolutely. They got to be looking for sponsors. The 93, he's got Gorilla sponsoring the car this week. You got to wonder if they could have made that move to put that on the 63 car, get him some more steady sponsors.
Yeah, it's kind of a selfish move there, in my opinion, by JT Tinker. And then he comes out here, tries to junk in the field.
Well, it's worked out for him. He's on the front row right now with his teammate next to him.
That's usually how it is. I mean, did you not see Carson Hocevar last week?
Absolutely. And, Carson Hocevar's namesake here in the 5150 and the 77, Logan Festischen, he's finding himself pretty far back here. He's going to have to work his way back up towards the front. But, it was a strategy call to stay out. So he had to fuel a little bit longer there during that pit stop. Finds himself a few cars back.
Yep, but it looks like the pace light is out here. They're going to be going green this time around your front row. It's going to be Tinker on the outside, Samara on the inside. JT Tinker going to be your control car.
Yeah, and I'll be watching the second and third car on the top line. That's the Barfield brothers, the 2 and the 8 up there. They're going to be right behind each other here. See if they're going to make any sort of moves here on the BCI guys.
And we're going to find out because we're going to be heading in on lap number 60. We are about 60% of the way done as the pace car heads down. Let's hop over to the Hutchinson Motorsports flag stand view. The best flag stand view in the business. As they enter the Geico restart zone, green flag is back in the air here. And another good jump there by Tinker. He's going to be the control car. Gets to choose his lane. I assume he's going to go to the bottom to work with his teammate, Brian Samara.
Surprisingly, he hasn't dropped down yet. He's still blocking that run for the 2 of Peyton Barfield. They might just try to control both lines here. They're junking it already!
My, oh my, that didn't take long here, folks. Bryce Barfield, I think he just got turned. Let's see what happened.
Oh my gosh, absolute chaos here in Atlanta in week number 2.
Oh yeah, these guys are not being friendly here tonight. They're not here to be friends and, play in the playground. They're here to race. So let's see here. Roseman in the 26. So it looks like the 2 had to check up for the 93, then the 8 checked up, and the 26 didn't have time to check up, so he just junked the 8.
Yeah, he wasn't quite ready for it and just caught him right in the left rear. Spun him right around. I got to say the 8 did a great job of keeping that thing going back straight. I don't think there's much damage for anybody out of this one, just a lot of smoke.
That's good news for the 93 and the 53 as they both stayed out here after the pit stop. So they should definitely be good on fuel, I'd assume.
Absolutely. And you see a few guys coming down this time, and it's something we haven't really talked about yet. I feel like, when it comes to Daytona and Talladega, tires aren't that important. But when here in Atlanta, you want good tires on the car because you're going to need that grip. These cars can start to push on a long run, so these guys might be coming down getting some fresh tires here, if I had to guess.
It's like a handful of them. We got Aaron Poplin, Peyton Barfield, Justin Rosema, Frank Warner, and Bryce Barfield all coming down pit lane.
Man, I think I might have spoke too soon when I said we weren't going to try to aim for the 5150 caution record here at Atlanta. We're at 6 now. Previous record's 10.
We got a shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's been more so far than any other race other than that record 10. This is definitely the second most cautions we've had here at Atlanta.
And I'll say most of these wrecks haven't really been a bad moves. Just unfortunate events there, like that one. I mean, cars checked up and we had a wreck.
Yeah, absolutely. Thinking back on him, the one before was just a car getting out of line, and by the time he tried to get back in, it was already gone. We had the 4 Wyatt incident. That one's a little bit questionable. Maybe one of those drivers could have backed out and kept us green for that one. But like you said, overall, it's nothing that's really been too egregious. It's just kind of been hard racing.
Yes, sir, but front row still going to be the same. It's going to be the 93 of Tinker and the 53 of Samara. Team BCI trying to dominate this race as their teammate Aaron Popland went down pit road that time.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be trying to work together. I think they're going to be just trying to control both lanes, you know. If a BCI car's at the front of either lane, somebody's going to be at the front of this race, you know.
Yeah, you know, I think that's the play. Most people think they have to be up their teammates' ass 24/7. If you just got two cars, I think the play is to try to take over both lanes. Because here in Atlanta, I mean, making a third lane is pretty tough.
Yeah, and you see him there. We've talked about him plenty enough already tonight, but the 77 of Festischen finds himself already back on the second row. Chad White in the 28 has had kind of a quiet last probably 20, 30 laps or so, but he finds himself, you know, right back here at the front of this race.
Well, I tell you what, it's not been a great race. That 96 of Taylor, he's basically had issues the whole race. Seems like he's been kind of caught up in minor involvements here the whole race and hasn't been able to get out front yet.
Yeah, Storm was looking really good at the first, 10, 20 laps of this race. Frank Warner was up in the front after winning the pole. Taylor was pretty close by. And here in this, last probably 30 laps or so, it's been pretty quiet for the 9. And, the 96 getting caught up with the 2, beefing on the radio and then having some more contact. It's definitely been an interesting race.
And a car we haven't really talked much about, James Benge in the 32 car, up to the 6th spot here as he tries to navigate his way through the field. But the pace light is off. They're going to be going green this time around. Again, it's going to be the 93 on the outside, the 53 on the inside.
Yeah, and one to watch the 04 as his car shows to me and Iris in the 39 there, Ron Mertens. He's third on that outside lane. He's up here pretty far for most of his race tonight.
Yes, sir. Good night as a pace car is in. They're entering the restart zone. And the green flag back in the air here in Atlanta, heading into lap number 63. And a good jump here by the 93 of Tinker as he takes over the race lead.
Yeah, and he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck here. He is going to drop down to the bottom this time. Logan Festischen, that 77, is all by himself on the outside lane.
Yes, sir. As they're trying to battle here in the back, Bryce Barfield shifting lanes, trying to find a way to get up front.
Yeah, that's 77 of Festischen. He's going to keep losing spots here. As you see the 96 of Taylor moving up the track, he's going to try to help him get back up there.
And Christian Taylor, he's sick of being in the back. He says it's go time. As he good move there by Taylor because he almost bumped Festischen into the tri-oval, and we all know that causes wrecks.
Yeah, absolutely. That 96 is looking like it might not be handling the best right now. He could still have some residual damage from earlier.
Let's hop on board and see why this car is all over the place. We're on board with Christian Taylor as he runs in the 9th position right now.
Yeah, he's third on that top lane right now. He's got Logan Festischen and Chad White in front of him, but that top lane, it's got some good momentum right now with the BCI teammates leading it.
Yep, nothing happened there in the back, so we're going to jump back out front. JT Tinker continues to lead this race.
Yeah, he's got no competition as of this moment, and it's still 2x2, but honestly this is the most calm it's been in a while.
Yes, sir. We're going to see if it can continue for a while. We had a long green flag run there, I think between like the second and third cautions, but ever since then, been caution after caution.
Yeah, and I think some of these guys might be getting tired of it and just want to tick off some laps. We've already been here for about an hour, and we're just now about 2/3 of the way through, so we still got a pretty good amount of laps left. 34 to go. It'll go by fast if we can keep it green, but if we keep having cautions, it'll take a while.
Yes, sir, and as we take our drone down track here, we're right in front of the race leader. We're flying right in his front windshield, JT Tinker, as he gets passed by Brian Samara.
Yeah, he moved up to the top lane there. I think it was a bit of a strategy call. Again, trying to control both those lanes, but Brian Zamora going to also come up to the top now.
Yes, sir. Ron Mertens trying to get a bit of help here, wanting Benge in the 32 car to get to his back bumper.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting move to me for the BCI guys. They might have noticed that that top lane finally started to have momentum and wanted to get up and block that.
And Peyton Barfield, he's hanging in the back. He's to the point where if you're that far back, you may as well just be in the last spot and try to avoid a wreck.
JT Tinker in the 93 ditches his teammate there. Takes the lead back over. Now he's got Chad White challenging him for the lead on the outside.
I think we're about to see a wreck here. These guys getting very aggressive out front.
Yeah, you see the 96 of Taylor trying to sneak his way back up. A lot of guys, making some moves to get back up towards the front here, and they're side drafting hard down the straightaway.
Yeah, Jesse, I'm telling you here, in the next lap or two, you're going to see a pile up. These guys, they
I
are
hope
aggressive.
not.
But Chad
I
White
hope
holding
so.
on to the race lead for now. Samara trying to find his way back up to this 93 and wants some payback for shuffling him back.
I was going to say, I think the 28 will have the lead as long as the 93 wants him to.
And a big push through the corner. JT Tinker trying to jump Chad White for the race lead.
Yeah, he's either going to get junked or he's going to find himself about a second and a half in front of the
Look
field.
at that.
The way
They
the
are
93 's
leaving the
pushing.
field with these pushes. Tinker being aggressive. They are leaving the field right now, folks.
Absolutely, and the 93, you know, he could have kept doing that, but that car might have ended up exploding if he would have kept pushing like that. Those were some big pushes.
Ron Mertens almost junks the 93 there. Gets into the quarter panel a little bit going in the corner.
Yeah, you know, you'd like to see these guys calm it down a little bit. You know, there's still 30 laps to go.
Yeah,
but they're still banging doors.
You know, I just don't get it. If I'm out there, I mean, I'm not being this aggressive with 30 to go. Going from third to first right now really means nothing.
No, it doesn't. Oh my gosh, I think we're
Here
about
they
to
are going 3
have
wide.
some
We're
three
about to
wide.
see it, Jesse. Get ready. It's coming, and there it is.
There it is.
Oh my! The 26 gets
Barfield.
almost upside down.
Barfield Tinker Festitian involved. I think Taylor got caught up in it a little bit as well. Big junk again.
My, oh my. We all saw that coming. I called it, I think, the corner before. Let's see the replay as they went 3 wide heading into 1. As soon as that happened, I knew they were done for. So here's the replay here. We got, we know the 8's involved in the 77. The 77 got absolutely junked. But the 8 makes a move to get underneath the 93 there, which I'm not a big fan of that move.
Yeah,
93.
absolutely. He kind of made a move out of somewhere there wasn't one to
Yeah.
be made.
And you know, technically, did the 93 squeeze him and come down a little bit? Yeah. But should the 8 have been there at the time? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, for the 8 to make that move, he had to dip 2 of his wheels below that red line. So
Yeah, which technically an illegal move to begin with, but hey, that's racing here. But caution came out. We called it the way they were racing. We saw it was coming.
yeah, absolutely. And I can't remember if the 8 of Barfield already had to use his fast repair or not.
I don't think.
But-
I'm looking at the car. I'm pretty sure he should still have one. I know he was involved in a wreck, but it was a minor wreck earlier.
Yeah, that car's pretty banged up right now. If he doesn't have a fast repair, he's going to have to get that thing fixed back up to have any chance of defending
we know
his
the
title.
77 of Festitious is going to need a fast repair. He totaled that thing in that wreck.
Yeah, he hit the outside wall pretty hard. Had about 2 cars worth of weight slamming him up into that green fence up there.
Oh, I still see him on pit road. Festitious might be out of fast repairs.
If that is the case, it's a
Yep.
tough way to go out,
Yeah,
as he
that
says,
car-
ouchie in the chat.
That car is parked in the box, and it is junk. Logan Festitious is done for, folks. Well, folks, we got a little bit of time. Let's pull up a little interview here. Logan, Blake, and Jesse up in the booth. How you doing, buddy?
Ouchie.
Hey, we assume you're out of fast repairs now, and you're done for. Is that right?
Nope, I'm not out of fast repairs, but my steering rack was broke, so I had a 4-minute tow back to the pits.
Okay, I didn't see the tow. So, hey, hopefully you don't fall too many laps down. Hey, the good news for you, though, is we're probably going to get a few more cautions, so you might have a shot.
Yeah, I'm 2 down right now, and I'm assuming they're 1 to green by now, and I still got a minute 54 tow, so I'm not. I think wins out of the question, but you know. hopefully
Yeah,
I can get
that's
some good
unfortunate. Really nowhere for you to go there, and you absolutely annihilated. Who was it? It was it the 93 there?
points. The 26 wheeled off of me. I know that.
Yeah. So your car's done for, but hey, looks like you're in the chat with Storm Motorsports and Jordan Schur as well. How's the racing going down there for the rest of them?
Yeah, so me and Jordan with MDM, we partnered up. We pair up with another 2-car team, Storm Motorsports, that we got some good buddies on, and so we can work together better. But they're doing pretty good. Frank had some hardships, but he's got all of his repairs done, and he's back with it. So just hoping to have a good points day for the team.
I got a question. Do you have any insight in the beef between the 96 of Taylor and the 2 of Peyton Barfield?
And that's short track racing. No, Tu's done some questionable things. He's very aggressive. These tracks, and it's difficult to work with him. So I understand the frustrations from the 96 there, but from the sound of it, there's more beef going on.
Hey, but
Great way to
we're
start the
going to
season.
send you down there for the team, and hopefully best of luck to him the rest of this one. Good luck, Logan.
All right, appreciate it.
Logan Festiation in the 77 absolutely junked it. Had his fast repair, but unfortunately had to tow it back to the pits, and his night is basically done for.
Yeah, he'll get back out there on the track if he wants to, and there is potential for more junked cars that he can get positions off of, but that's going to be what he has to hope for if he's going to finish, any better than 13th here.
Yeah, but how about it out of nowhere? The 9 of Frank Warner back out front here. Your front row is going to be Chad White on the inside, Frank Warner on the outside.
Yeah, Frank's done a good job at just keeping that car clean. I don't think he's really been involved in too much. Logan did mention he had some hardships, but he's done a good job keeping that 9 under control. Pace car does dip off. We're getting ready to go back green.
Yes, so we're going to have 25 laps left to go as the racers enter the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air, and a big jump there by Chad White.
Yeah, he's got the 6 of Jordan Scherer behind him. Scherer not able to time it up just as well. Big gap back to the other cars for Chad White. He's going to get swallowed up pretty quick here.
Yeah, Chad White got a little bit too good of a jump and sure had a bad jump here, but good to see Scherer work himself up to the front. This is the first time all night he's been up there.
Yeah, it looks like that's the 2 of Peyton Barfield dropping out of the apron, going back towards the back, getting out of the chaos for a little while for the 2.
Yeah, with just 25 laps left to go here, Frank Warner trying to make a move to that race lead here as Chad White continues to lead this thing.
Yeah, you got to wonder how much more chaos there can be. These cars have been dropping like flies. We're only down to 11 cars here in the main pack.
Yeah, that's usually how these races go. You get a bunch of cautions until all the cars were gone, and then it stays clean and green.
Yeah, the 32 car, James Benji here, has worked himself back. He's worked himself into this 4th spot here on the bottom line. Pretty good spot for the 32. I think that might be the farthest up he's been on the leaderboard.
Yes, sir, but as they continue to go single file out front here, we're going to see how calm things remain as the 63 of Poplin out of nowhere back to the front.
Yeah, he's looking good there in that 3rd spot. No one around him team-wise, though. Don't know where his teammates are. They're a bit farther back.
And it looks like Festition finally made it back out onto the track here. He's about to get lapped again. Currently, he's 2 laps down, about to go 3. He could use a caution about right now.
The problem is he's not in a lucky dog position. The 96 of Taylor is also a lap down, so that is who is in the lucky dog spot right now.
Yeah, he could still use it, though, because he's about to get lapped again, but definitely see your point there. Christian Taylor hoping for one as well.
Things are looking a lot calmer now with a few less cars on the track. The front 4 kind of breaking away from the rest of the pack here.
Well, the good news for them, they're going to have this lap car here bridge them to the pack, so they should be good to go here.
Yeah, the 96 of Christian Taylor, he's kind of putting himself in a bit of a hornet's nest here. If he is wanting to get that lucky dog, he's not in the greatest spot right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Taylor, you're not really racing anybody right now. I'd probably drop to the back, but he's got damage anyway, so I guess you may as well just go.
Yeah, and look at the gap that the front 3 have right now over everybody else.
Yeah, they are leaving. They're working together here as the rest of everybody's racing each other. So Poplin trying to lead Binge there in the 32, but I think they still got the draft for now if they get going.
Yeah, they're going to get back up to the first 3 car pack with the help of the 77 of Festischen. Got his car fixed back up.
The guys in the back are in trouble though as they're duking it out here. They might lose this draft if they keep racing hard.
Yeah, if it comes down to it, there's a 6-car breakaway, one of them being the lapper of Festischen. Trying to get a lap back the old school way, it looks like.
But for the time being, Chad White's still out front here trying to hold off that 9 of Frank Warner. Boy, if you're Chad, you're probably happy to see Frank because Frank's a very patient driver. He's not going to make any crazy moves here until the end of this thing.
Yeah, Frank is not going to try to do anything until it is go time. The last lap is about the only time you'll see Frank Warner make any risky moves. So if I'm the 28 of Chad White, that's the one person I want to see behind me right now.
And it looks like Aaron Poplin's blocking, trying to control both lanes in 3rd place. Veteran move there by the 63.
If it works for him, it works.
Can't blame him, but he's falling in the line. Finally back to the back bumper of Frank Warner. Boy, Ron Mertens, he's been racing hard here all night long. Sitting in a top 5 spot still.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been close to having some race enders, but he's been able to stay out of them pretty good so far tonight.
And the 32 of Benj gets a little bit loose there coming off the corner, able to keep it rolling.
Yeah, I don't think that top lane has anything right now for the three guys on the bottom here in the front.
Yeah, I agree. If they stay connected, it looks like the three up front have all agreed just to kind of stay in line here.
Yeah, and they're doing it at the best time you can. I mean, you're not really thinking about it, but these laps are ticking off quick, 30 seconds a lap. We've only got 17 to go.
And if I'm the 8 here at Barfield, I'm going to that outside line. Oh, the 26 jumps on it early. I was about to say, I'm going to that outside line. I'd rather be the lead car outside than be 5th or 6th in line on the bottom.
Yeah, and you look there, 5th car on the bottom lane is the 8 of Bryce Barfield. He is not out of it yet. He is still in this race.
The only problem for those guys outside now, they're side by side, and those top 4 are going to stay single file there on the bottom.
Yeah, they have to work the side draft well, kill the momentum of the guys on the bottom lane to be able to get up towards the front of this line here.
Yeah, I think things have kind of straightened out here. We got fewer cars. This thing might stay green till the end, then we might see a green-white checkered restart.
Yeah, we might see it starting to spice up once we get closer to, around 5 to go would be my guess as to when we start seeing people break off. I mean, you see the 63 of Poplin there. He's content with being 3rd right now. But, as these laps tick down, he's going to want to get himself to that lead. He's not going to just sit there in 3rd place and, just let Chad or Frank win this thing.
Yeah, meanwhile, Brian Samara currently sitting in the 7th spot. He is gridlocked on the bottom as he's got cars to his outside. There's nowhere for Brian to go to get out front.
Yeah, that's the case for a lot of these guys. And, you think about maybe making that 3-wide move, but you've seen it not work out for so many people.
Yeah, definitely so. And that's another reason about 5 laps ago or so, I said I would make that move to the outside line. Because I would much rather be that 26 or Rosema than to be the 8 or the 53.
Yeah, I think if I'm that 04 or the 39 car, whichever one he is, if I'm him or Poplin, if you get a good run on these leaders, we got junk happening.
What a save there by the 53 of Samara. Wow, what a save there. Keeping it rolling. We're still green.
That man can wheel a car. I mean, it could hurt him here if he loses the draft, but
he probably
hell of a save.
I don't know. I think he's good, actually. He's got a couple cars to bridge him in between, but there's only 10 to go, and it's not easy to work your way to the front here, so you still don't want to be that 53, but a big save there by Brian Samara.
Well, you definitely don't want to be the 53, but, I mean, there's a 5-car breakaway now for the top 5. The rest of the field has kind of lost the draft now.
Yeah, it looks like we got the 5-car breakaway. That's Barfield in the 8. He's still got a shot at this thing. Any of those cars in the top 5,
you can't count him out. You can't count him out. He's won the last 2 times. We've said it multiple times. He's faced some definite adversity tonight with some questionable moves, but he has the talent to somehow sneak this win.
Since they've officially left the pack, these 5 are the only ones that have a shot unless we get a caution. And you're going to see all kinds of moves here coming in the closing lap. So literally all 5 of them have about an equal shot to win this thing.
Yeah, 10 laps to go, crossing the stripe. If it stays green, we're only about 5 minutes away from the checkered flag here. It's going to happen quick.
Yeah, and the big thing here to think of, out of the top 5, none of them are teammates, so they're all going to be out for themselves. So there's no telling who's going to win this thing.
Yeah, the only sort of team aspect of it, those 3 cars in the back are all Chevys.
I don't think that matters here.
It might not, but if there's anyone you want to go with, it might be another Chevy. And if those 3 in the back do decide to go to the top, they can leave the 28 and the 9 like sitting ducks, I think.
If I had to pick who I wanted to be, I'd probably just want to be the race leader, Chad White, because you got Frank Warner behind you. Frank might just stay behind him. You never know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, Chad White is in the best spot that you can be because, if you can play it right, you can control the momentum of both of the lanes and keep yourself out front.
And really, the only thing Chad needs to worry about, if Frank pulls a move on him and Chad doesn't get the block in, Chad's not going to have a car behind him and he's going to drop back. So really, the only chance of anybody getting around Chad White is if Frank Warner makes the move.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. As it looks like Justin Rosema got loose, he kept it going farther back in the backpack.
But meanwhile, they're still staying single file, which I think is what you're going to see until about 2 or 3 to go at least. Maybe even the white flag lap.
Yeah, I think all these guys up here in this first 5, I think they'd rather finish top 5 than try to make a move now and potentially wreck.
Yeah, and if you're Barfield there sitting in 5th, I mean, you have nowhere to go unless somebody else moves. And Mertens can't really make the move either. So in my opinion, it's either got to be the 9 of Warner or the 63 of Poplin to make that move.
Yeah, I think you've got, 2 drivers hungry for a win here in the 5150 Cup Series. 2nd and 3rd there, Frank Warner, Aaron Poplin. I know it's been a very long time since Frank Warner's brought home a Cup win. I don't know for sure about Aaron Poplin if he has one or not. So those 2 drivers would really love to come home with a win here. And they've got, the 04 behind them of Ron Mertens. He's a newcomer this year. He could be hungry to prove himself.
Yeah, and again, Mertens can make the move all he wants, but I don't think he's going to have enough help of the 8 alone behind him to pass some cars.
If he times it right, he could side draft the 63 and, break the momentum of the 3 cars and it only be a 2 versus 2 battle. But they've got to play it perfectly.
Definitely. Maybe drop back a car link or so, get a run, try to shoot outside. We're coming to 4 to go here. Chad White, still your race leader. Got a 5-car breakaway for the race win after a caution fest early on that's cleaned up here. It looks like we're going to get a good green flag finish here, hopefully.
Yeah, and I've got confirmation in the chat. Aaron did bring home a win spring Talladega race 2 years ago. So it's not his first win, but it's definitely been quite a drought for the 63 and the 9.
Well, 2 years ago, Logan Feshishin was a youngster back then. What was he? He's probably a freshman at that time. Maybe sophomore.
Yeah, times have definitely changed, but what hasn't changed is the skill of the 63 at the super speedway. He's always finding himself out front. As you see the 8 making the move.
Yeah, and again, he's just, oh, God, what is it? Ooh, I thought he was going to junk the 39. Yeah, the 8 tried something. Honestly, I thought that was a bad move. There's no reason to do that. Now he's out of it.
Yeah, it suddenly becomes a 4-car battle here as we're going to cross the line. It's going to be 2 to go.
Yeah, there's really no reason to make that move. You're not going to go anywhere. You might briefly pass the 39, but after that, you're toast. But that's unfortunate. Bryce Barfield not going to have the 3-peat here as he loses the draft. We're down to 4 here with 2 laps to go. Going to be the white flag this time around.
Had somebody in the chat say Barfield has this to be immediately proven wrong. 4 cars left in it, about to take the white flag. Chad White still leads the way.
And once we get the white flag, there's going to be no cautions here as they enter the tri-oval. White flag in the air. We're going to have a green flag finish.
When will the move be made? They're not going to stay single file the whole time.
Yeah, we got to see, if anybody needs to make the move. I'm telling you, if Frank Warner makes the move, he's got the best shot to win this race. But he needs a 63 to follow him, and I think he will. But heading into turn 3, Chad White still out front. Warner trying to get up high. Nothing there. Moves Chad White, gets underneath, side by side. Race to the trial with
Hanging doors.
A big push from the 63. Frank Warner wins it. What a
Chad
finish.
White, second by a bumper. The 63 of Poplin takes home 3rd, Martin's 4th.
What a finish. A big bump there at the end. Aaron Poplin rewarding Frank Warner with the win, and they're making a great move.
That was perfectly timed by Frank. It had to get a little rubbing his racing across the stripe for one of probably the best finishes here in 5150 Cup. Frank Warner taking home a win. It's been several years, I believe, in the Cup Series without one for the 9.
I'm sure Chad will be the first to tell you, Chad, a move like that's not going to make Chad mad. I think he totally understands. You got to door bang each other here for that finish. And Frank Warner did what he needed to do, did it clean, wins the race here in Atlanta.
Yeah, the 28 of Chad White pretty much immediately came over the comms there, congratulated 9 on the great race back to the line. So Chad White with no hard feelings. And the 9 of Frank Warner gets to bring it around to the front stretch here and get ready to celebrate.
We're about to see Frank Warner burn it down. Let's pull him in here, give him a little quick interview. Frank, Blake, and Jesse up in the booth. You got us?
I got you. I got you.
What a finish there. You made a great move at the end to take over the lead coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, he chased me up the track there a little bit, and I'm like, okay, we're just going to dive to the inside there and hope she sticks. And we bumped doors a little bit, but that's all part of racing. And Chad's a good racer. We've had a lot of close battles together, and it was. I'm glad we were able to battle him for that win.
Yeah, and at the end, I can say I think you owe Aaron Poplin a little bit there because he gave you a good bump there at the finish to get the pass completed.
Oh, he sure did. Yeah, Aaron's a good racer as well. We race well together. So yeah. I'm just speechless right now. I'm just excited.
Yeah, absolutely. A hell of a drive from you there to bring home the win for Storm Motorsports. What did the drought look like for you here in the 5150 Cup Series for that win?
Oh, it's been a long time. Definitely a long time in 5150. We had a win stolen from us back in the old Atlanta. But we've always done good here in Atlanta. We've had a lot of bad breaks since they've changed us over to the speedway style racing. But Atlanta's always been a good track for us.
Yeah, well, hey,
absolutely. I think I know who won that spring Atlanta race a couple years back that got stolen from you. So it's definitely awesome to see you come in and take one here tonight.
Yes, thank you.
But hey, before you head out, you got any shout outs or anything to add, Frank?
Definitely want to thank everyone at 5150. They've always put on a good show here. I'm glad to be back, and I want to thank 5150 for sponsoring Storm Motorsports. They're a big help to us. Thank Jesse and Christian and all the other Storm teammates. They're great people to work with, and just thank you to all the fans out there watching, and I hope everybody gets to enjoy the show.
Well, hey, Frank, congratulations. I'll let you go down and celebrate. Burn it down here. Big win here. Race number 2 at Atlanta. Taking home the win.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Jesse, you got any last minute comments here before Frank heads out?
Just awesome race. Perfectly timed to move. I guess the one final question is, were you planning to make that move out of 4 the whole time? Or were you thinking about maybe trying it earlier? Or is it just how it worked out?
It's just how it worked out. I was going to actually try to go high. I didn't know if Aaron would go with me or not. I was pushing him there into the corner, and I was hoping trying to back off a little bit so I had a little room to get around him. But he kind of chased me up the hill, so I just dove her down low. And I said, hope she was going to stick.
All right. Well, hey, great job, Frank. I'll let you go celebrate. Congratulations, you're winning in Atlanta.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Frank Warner, race winner, but folks, in the waiting room, we got a little bit of a bonus interview for you coming up. Let's get him in here. Aaron, Blake, and Jesse up in the booth. You got us?
I got you loud and clear.
Hey, what a finish there. You saw Frank. He started to make the move high, got a bit of a block, so he dives down low, and you give him a push there for the finish. What were you thinking there at the end?
Well, I figured my best chance for me to win this race was going to come down to those two crashing. So whatever was going to get me the most speed is where I went.
Hey, well, it worked out for you. You were definitely, the star of the show for Team BCI. Your 2 teammates weren't so great tonight.
Yeah, they were up front early in the race there. They figured some fuel strategy, worked out pretty well for them. Felt like I kind of was bogged back down most of the start of the race, either getting hit, knocked out of line. Had some crazy wrecks there, but finally, the kind of just cleared there for the last 25 laps and just held it in the throttle.
Jesse, go ahead. You got anything for him?
Yeah, my only question, for the 63, great race, bringing home 3rd tonight. You think that'll help attract some new sponsors for the 63 with the Hooters bankruptcy announcement?
We're gonna have to look hard for a new sponsor. The Hooters been great to us. Apparently too great. They ran out of money. And yeah, we're gonna have to fill that hole in our heart and our arteries where those Hooters chicken wings used to be.
Now, a quick question, Aaron. Do you think a big part of that, all the times that you stiffed them for tips at Hooters, do you think that's a big reason of this?
I think we just charge them too much money. They pay us an absorbent amount to be on this car, and well, I think we're worth it more anyway, so it's fine.
Hey, great job here tonight, bringing home a podium finish for Team BCI. Aaron Poplin willing that thing in a third place. Congratulations, Aaron.
Thank you, guys.
Jesse, you got anything before he heads out?
That's all. Just congratulations on the podium finish there.
Thank you.
Aaron Poplin bringing home third here tonight. Boy, what an interesting race. Early on, it was a crash fest, but there at the end, we had a good run here and a great finish. Jesse, what were your thoughts of this race?
I mean, I think there was a lot more action than I was really expecting. You know, I mentioned several times last time that 5150 was here, we had a caution-free race. It was definitely not that tonight. A lot more wrecks than what I was expecting to see. And I mean, even the ending had a little bit of controversy. There was some talks about the 9 going below the red line. It was reviewed after the race. It is official that he does get the win. He was put below the red line via contact. So all is good there. But yeah, overall, just a lot more action than I was really expecting throughout the whole race, and some heavy hitters finding themselves, not being able to finish this race.
Yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes here. Drafting tracks, it's tight quarters here in Atlanta, but boy, was it interesting. But hey, Jesse, we appreciate you joining us up here in the booth. I think it's time to head out here. Before we head out, you got anything for these great fans?
No, I mean, just shout out to everybody tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, show the support for Hutchins Motorsports, showing these races every Tuesday night. Definitely a great show to be a part of. Hopefully I can come in and be here in the booth with Blake a couple more times during this season. Definitely works out that I'm on vacation this week, so I've got the free time. But, it was a blast working with you tonight. Definitely excited to watch going forward at COTA next week.
Jesse, you're on vacation again. Do you ever work?
I get vacation 4 times a year. I did not want them to be this early in the year, 2 weeks, but that's just how the cookie crumbles, as you said earlier.
Well, hey, Jesse, thanks again for coming out. Definitely always good to have you up here. Feel free to join in any time. But again, like Jesse said, we appreciate you fans tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to the page. Throw a comment in. Share it with your friends, all that good stuff. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. We're going to be at COTA, though. So we appreciate you tuning in. Come on back Thursday night. We're going to have the Stars and Stripes Next Gen Series.